Okay, so today I'm going to talk about practicing authenticity. So one thing that you should know about me, maybe you've already noticed, I like to make people laugh. I like to make people smile. It's very important to me that everyone in the room is having a good time and maximizing their experience. And I have thought of myself recently as kind of a social chameleon, in that I am adapting myself and changing different aspects of who I am to make that kind of happen. So I like the outcome, but I don't necessarily agree with my methods. I am tearing away parts of myself or putting on different masks and performances to do what I think is important, right? To like make people happy. And it's challenging to, I'm stuck. Thank you. Ta-da! So I've just dug into why I do that, why I feel I need to take responsibility for everybody else's emotions and people please. And I think it's so that I could get that validation for me that I was not able to give myself, to feel like I am worthwhile, I deserve to be here, I belong, I have value to give, and if not, then what am I doing here? Like, get out of here, why are you on stage? You have nothing to give. And so I guess you could say I had a little bit of a self-image issue, not really able to see my own worth and reassure myself that I deserve to be here. So in this experience, as you guys have maybe seen, I am pretty outgoing, I would say. I recently learned that I'm an extrovert, and people in my life were telling me, there's no way that Sabrina could be depressed. There's no way Sabrina could have social anxiety. And it made me feel like, okay, I believe everybody else. I think what they're saying is true, because how could I trust my own sense of self, and especially when I'm getting all this feedback? And so I didn't really start taking my problems very seriously until recently, and it was a very isolating experience to feel like I feel icky and I feel this kind of imposter syndrome, and I'm feeling like, geez, the weight of the world is kind of on my shoulders right now in all of these situations, especially at the meetup, to do the most things and to be the best fab, to have the most incredible experience, and anything short of that perfect experience is failure, and not ta-da failure, like shame failure, and just feeling awful. And so with these terrible feelings and cycling and what have you, I tried to distract myself from them when I was in college and got super involved. I was in like a million different clubs and being like, yeah, I'll be the president, like whatever, and kind of distracting myself from these issues. And eventually, to nobody's surprise, I burnt out a few times. But the most recent time, I was finally out of school, had a full-time job, and was making money, the like software engineer money, if you know what I mean. And so I had some financial freedom, right, to pursue therapy and to start looking into what it looked like to get help with some of the things I was feeling. And that was when I first started validating that my experience was challenging, and that kind of sucks. I wished that I had someone earlier to tell me, like, those feelings you're feeling do suck, and that sucks for you, if that makes sense. And gave me the encouragement to like take my problems seriously. So in this learning, I also started to discover, in my pursuit to make other people happy and bring other people joy, I was doing people a disservice by not giving them the most authentic version of myself and trying to put on a performance and keep up a mask. Because how could I expect other people to get their best when I'm not giving them my best? And it also feels really bad to put that mask on. It's uncomfortable and it's exhausting, and it means I'm spending hours and time that I could be spending enjoying my life, living in my head, and hating myself into being like a perfect person or something. I don't really know what my end goal was, but nevertheless, I have finally started learning to choose prioritizing myself and prioritizing my well-being and my experience of things. Like, I actually just had the idea on the side to start this Ignite by saying, usually I black out during these things and, blah, 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 and take a few breaths, because I have really, really struggled to be present in these kind of things and like enjoy it and feel like it's for me. And this kind of is for me. As much as it's for you, it's for me a little bit. And it feels really good to give myself that kind of kindness and compassion that I was so ready to give to everybody else, but had been neglecting to give to myself. So this is a practice. I don't want to make this seem like I flipped a switch and then started loving myself, and it was just like, very cool, rock on, ready to go. It's been difficult and uncomfortable, and I feel like I regress sometimes, and that feels really bad. Like earlier this week when I was giving a practice version of this Ignite, I finished and I went to sit back in my seat, and I just felt very small, and I felt very just inadequate, and very, all of the kind of feelings of the imposter syndrome just kind of like all hit. And even to the point, like, I went in the bathroom and I was like, I feel ugly. I feel like I just want to curl up in a ball, And that sucked. And that's worth acknowledging, I suppose. That's the point of the talk. I'm just learning that as I speak it. So I say this to say that although it's uncomfortable and difficult to practice being authentic, it is worthwhile, because as I've started to live more authentically per se and try to figure out who I am outside of people pleasing and who I am and what I want to do and what I want to be, I've had a lot of really amazing experiences. At this meetup alone, you may have noticed that I come up to you and talk to you, and I really, really enjoy speaking to you and getting to know you, and that feels like something I couldn't have done years ago. I can't imagine that, and standing up here and being like, oh, I'm kind of sad sometimes, but whatever, it's no big deal. But it is a big deal, and that's the point, I think. So, yes.